Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Here we are breaking down IELTS 20. Today is for summary completion questions. So let me show you how they look like. They look like this, summary completion questions, and our job is to break them down. And of course, I'm going to teach you how to figure them out. So stay tuned and give it a like if you like this video, okay? And so let's start with the strategy. Of course, you have to use these letters. The answers cannot be words because they say using the list of phrases. Complete the summary using the list of phrases A and H. If you enter words in your answer sheet, it's going to be marked as a wrong answer. So please remember that you have to write A to H letters in your answer sheet, okay? So that's the most important thing. And the second important thing is when you solve these types of the question is try to start with the questions. I heard some people try to read the whole paragraph and then they tend to answer the questions. That's not okay. You're gonna waste a lot of time, and probably you might already forget what this passage is about when you come to the questions finally. So please start with the questions first, and then you can progress with the second, third, and fourth, and so on. So the second important thing, try to start with the questions, okay? Don't read the paragraph before answering them. Start with the question number one, and then you're gonna find the keywords, technical words, the names, and paraphrasings. And this is how you find the answers. So, and also the title might also help you. Of course, you have taken all the questions, you have answered other questions so far before the question 33, and you might already know the location of the answers. So that's why the title might also help you to find out the location of the first answer, So this is the three things which are very important in these type of questions, okay? So we're going to start with the practice, okay? And this strategy is going to be very helpful for you, hopefully. So calls by the umpire. The first question, even after ABS was developed, MLB still wanted human umpires to shout out decisions that they had in their la la la. Our job is to highlight the keywords, as I earlier mentioned. We have some names here. And of course, some words will be paraphrased, okay? So we do have MLB, human umpires shout out decisions that they had in their something. So as you can see, MLB is given here, MLB, Major League Baseball. So yay, it's very easy to find them, to locate. So ABS also mentioned here in the first one, even after, since we have after ABS was developed, so it means the answer is going to be here. So if you want, you can pause the video and read the first paragraph, but you're gonna see that the first paragraph is not what we need, okay? So because MLB still wanted human umpires, that's our next keyword. So our job is to read this part as well. Wanted human umpires. As you can see, we have some same words. Yay, that's a win. And also we have shout out decisions. It's the other way to say announce the calls, as you can see, just as they would have done in the past. So this is the answer in the past because we have in there something. So we do have matching of the keywords. We did find the keywords, we matched them as we can see here. And the next important thing is to match this word. You can't write down here in the past. You have to make sure that this word in the past matches with one of these in the box. So this is very high level word list. As you can see, we have pitch boundary, subjective assessment, total silence. So our job is to find the match with the word in the past. So I'll give you some few moments, pause the video and think of the answer. So in 3, 2, 1. So in the past, which is former roles. As you can see, we have nothing else than the past than this word former. Former means past. It's the other way to say former, the past. So that's a synonym of the past, former roles in the past. So this is how you do it. Very easy. So, of course, not everything will be this easy, so be ready for that, but it's very possible, don't worry. As long as you have taken a lot of practice tests, it's going to be way more easier and easier and easier, so don't worry. This is all it takes, okay? Summary completion tasks, there are sometimes this easy. Next one, the umpire's job had at one time required required something about whether a ball was a strike. Okay, since we do have a word a here, a, so it means you can't use these B and what else? Tactics, C options because they are plural. And what you need here is a singular something noun, basically a. So you're going to eliminate C here. If you wish, of course, you can cross it out for a while. If you want, you can eliminate B option as well because they're all about plurals. So this is just a little trick, okay? So A option 34's option should be singular since we have an article A. So we're going to keep reading, and please note that these type of answers, they don't always, almost always, let's say, almost always they do come in order, but in this particular summary, the answers, I will show you. You're gonna see that these answers don't come in order. At the end of the test, you're gonna see, okay? But almost always the answers do come in order, okay? But not in this one. Okay, so I can't really highlight. I couldn't even highlight in the beginning of the strategy part of the video that the answers do come in order, so that's why I'm saying it right now. So don't just hope that the answers always come in order. Okay, so we know that the answers don't come in order, but we're going to rely on the paraphrasing, the keyword stuff. So the job required a something, one thing, singular, about whether a ball was a strike. Okay, this is the other way. Haha. Let's find out. Do we have anything else? Let's keep reading from this point. When the first pitch came in, a recorded voice told the Jesus it was a strike. Yay, we found the word strike, but let's keep reading. Previously, calling a strike, again, strike was a judgment call on the part of the umpire. Even the batter does not hit the ball, a pitch that passes through the strike zone and an imaginary zone about 17 inches wide, stretching from the batter's knees to the middle of his chest is considered a strike. So we do have some kind of great words here. So the answer starts from this point, since we have a word strike here. So a strike, we have nothing about that, right? We don't have about a recorded voice. So the answer probably might start from this point, from the sentence previously. So if you can see here, calling a strike was a judgment call on the part of the umpire. This part, calling a strike was a judgment call. It seems like this one. A ball was a strike, about whether a ball was a strike. So as you can see, they match. So calling a strike was a judgment call. Judgment call is the other way to say whether a ball was a strike. So the answer required a judgment call. So this is the answer for it, and it matches. It's a singular word, and our job is to match it with the list of phrases. Judgment, judging when somebody decides whether it was a strike or not. So our job is to find out how do we match it with these words in the list of phrases. Judgment, as you can see, the only thing which says about judgment is subjective, and subjective, which is the other way to say judgment, and call is assessment. So people are assessing, they are evaluating, they're figuring out whether it was a strike or not. So the answer, this answer is going to be D, okay? So about the whether a ball was a strike, it's a judgment call. So required a judgment call about whether a ball was a strike. So this is how you figure it out. So yay, great job. So 33 was F, 34 is D. Okay, next one. Moving on to the 35. A ball is considered a strike, okay, a strike, when the batter does not hit it, and it crosses through something. Again, you need a singular word, extending approximately from the batter's knee to his chest. So we do know that the knees and chest, they're all over there. So we're going to keep reading from this point, huh? Okay. So even if the batter does not hit the ball, yes, which is here, does not hit it, even, note that we have a word even if the batter does not hit the ball, a pitch that passes through the strike zone, an imaginary zone about 17 inches wide, stretching from the batter's knees to the middle of his chest, is considered a strike. Yes, a ball is considered a strike, as you can see here, and crosses through, which is passes through, right? You know it. This is very easy one to match. So, and a strike zone, an imaginary zone. So let's come back to the question once more. A ball is considered a strike when the batter does not hit it. So we do have this part. So something is considered a strike, and this something is when the batter does not hit the ball. So we have the match of the first paragraph, of the first part, and it crosses through something. What does it cross through? A pitch that passes through the strike zone. A strike zone. And they are explaining the strike zone. So an imaginary zone. So this explanation might be the answer. It crosses through the strike zone, or it crosses through this imaginary zone about 17 inches wide. So if you put the answer as a strike zone, do we have anything here which is the match of the word strike zone? No. So you're gonna choose this explanation of the word strike zone, okay? Because we have an option perceived area. Perceive, when you perceive something, you imagine something. It's the other way to say imagine. So this is the answer. Yay! So try to use your analytical thinking skill as well, because we probably might have two answers. As you can see in this example, we really have two possible answers, which one is a strike zone and the second one is an imaginary zone. So since we don't have anything about strike zone here in the list of the words, the answer might be an imaginary zone. So what we were looking for was an imaginary zone, which is the other way to see a perceived area. Okay, this is easy. So great. Moving on to the 36. In the past, the next keyword. Okay, over strike calls were not uncommon, but today everyone accepts the complete ban on pushing or shoving the empire. Okay. Oh, sorry. So sorry for my. Okay, now this is a straight line. So, we have to understand this question again. In the past, overstrike calls were not uncommon, not uncommon. But today, everyone accepts the complete ban on pushing or shoving the umpire. Okay, but today. So, let's keep reading, but remember that the answers don't come in order. So let's keep reading still. During that first game, when the Jesus announced calls, there was no heckling and no shouted disagreement. Nobody said a word. No, that's not what we're looking for. We have nothing about like banning, uncommon strike calls. No. So we're going to keep reading from this point. For 150 years ago, yes, this is the other way to say in the past, okay? So let's highlight it. Let's keep reading. Do we have anything about today? The strike zone has been the game's animating force. So has been, it means about today. So it has been the game's animating force. Countless arguments between a team's manager and the umpire have taken place again today, have taken place over its boundaries and whether a ball had crossed through it. The rules of play have evolved in various stages. Today, yes, we have today. Today, everyone knows that you may scream your disagreement in an umpire's face, but you must never shout personal abuse at them or touch them. That's a no-no. When the robo-umpires came, however, the argument stopped. Bravo! So, ban on pushing. Ban, which is you may scream your disagreement in an umpire's face, but you must never shout personal abuse. So that's a ban on pushing or shoving the umpire and touch them. So this is what we're looking for. So in this paragraph, we have the answer. So what we're looking for is something in the past, something over strike calls were not uncommon. Okay. So what was uncommon? Let's take a look, but today everyone accepts it. Yeah. The strike zone has been the game's animating force. Countless between teams manager, umpire have taken place over its boundaries and whether a ball had crossed through it. The rules have evolved in various. No, may scream your disagreement. So, countless arguments, right? Games animating force, countless arguments between the team's manager and the umpire have taken place over its boundaries and whether a ball had crossed through it. So, what we're looking for is here, over strike calls were not uncommon. It's whether a ball had crossed through it, is the other way to say it. Excuse me, let me erase this. So whether a ball had crossed through it, which is the other way to overstrikes calls, were not uncommon. And now we have everyone accepts is here everyone knows, which is very easy to find. And ban, I have already said. So let's come back to the beginning. So for 150 years ago, which is in the past, the strike zone has been the game's animating force, and countless arguments between a team's manager and the umpire have taken place. So not uncommon. Team's manager of the have taken place. So have taken place were not uncommon. It's the other way to this happened. It means that this happened. This have taken place. These things have taken place. So what have taken place? Countless arguments. Okay? Countless arguments happened. Okay? They have been. They have taken place. Countless arguments. This is the answer. In the past, countless arguments over strike calls were not uncommon. Not uncommon is the other way to say have taken place over its boundaries. And this is it. So now it's time to match the paraphrasing. Countless arguments. What is it? Since we have plural form, we have 2 points here. We have point B and point C. Let's find out which one matches. Okay, I was erasing C1. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't manage erasing only C option. Yes, I made it. Great. So what we were looking for is countless arguments, and we're looking for plurals. We have 2 plurals options, B, numerous disputes, and team tactics. Team tactics doesn't work for this one, right? And countless, it's many, many, it's numerous, numerous, it's countless, countless, it's many. So disputes, arguments. So the answer is B. Yay, you've made it. Good job. So this is very easy. And now, next one. One difference, however, is that during the first game, difference, the keyword, that during the first game, did Jesus and ABS strike calls were met with something. Okay, did Jesus and ABS. Did Jesus. As I earlier mentioned, some answers might not come, but they don't come in order. So this is what I mean, okay? This answer is not after this paragraph. It's not here. It's not in this fourth paragraph. And because we do have some paraphrasings, we do have some keywords. The Jesus here, and we have ABS or in the beginning, as I earlier mentioned here, and the Jesus also in the beginning. But when you pause the video and if you're going to read this first paragraph, they have nothing about difference, okay? The difference is here. During the first game, also, during the first game, we do have this one, the matching of the word during the first game keyword. The next keyword is the Jesus. But in the first paragraph, of course, you do have a keyword, the Jesus and ABS, but they have nothing about the first game. So the answer is here, is hidden here. During the first game, when the Jesus announced calls, okay, the Jesus strikes were met, okay, calls, there was no heckling and no shouted disagreement. Nobody said a word. So, however, it means, and in the beginning, we had this kind of like contrast. As you can see here, we have a contrast in the first one, something considered a strike when the batter does not hit the ball. But during the first game, however, when the Jesus announced calls, there was no heckling and no shouted disagreement. Nobody said a word. So what is the answer? One different, however, difference. The difference is being mentioned here, which is that during the first game, DJs and ABS strike calls were met. Strike calls, however, they were met with no heckling, with no shouted disagreement, and nobody said a word. So this is what we're looking for. So no, they said nothing, nothing. So I'll give you some kind of 3, 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. So the answer is total silence. Yes, it's total silence. This is it. You made it. So this sentence is not in the same order. So we have stopped in this paragraph, in the third paragraph. Unfortunately, this next paragraph doesn't have anything about difference, doesn't have about what is happening during the first game. It is a completely different thing, as you can see here. You can pause the video and you can prove it to yourself. So this sentence in the second paragraph, the last sentence in the second paragraph says about this, what happens during the first game. So they had silence. They had no heckling, they shouted, no disagreement. So G is the answer. Yay, we've made it. So please remember that some answers don't come in order. That's why I couldn't mention it in the beginning, that the answers do come in order. If they did come in order, if they really came in order, I would totally say it in the beginning when I was telling about the strategy. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for breaking it down. Hopefully this video has helped you to figure out the answers. So hit the like button if you find this video helpful and useful, and break a leg in your IELTS reading exam. Not only in reading, okay, in listening, speaking, writing as well, of course, break a leg. So if you're interested in one-to-one or personal individual lessons with me, IELTS English feel free to text me. I have my Telegram nick down below in the description box, so feel free to text me and book your own trial lesson with me. I provide only one-to-one lessons. I'm an IELTS tutor. My students get 7, 7.5. Some of them get 6.5 band scores. So yes, this is me. Thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully this video has helped you. Follow to my other videos because I make videos every Friday. So today is Friday. It's a video time for me. So I really enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching and following me, subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Have a good time and see you in the next one. Bye.